Hello guys, welcome back to my channel again. I'm Tassos. Here we play video games, we talk about them, sometimes we do even both. So if it's your first time around and you like stuff like that, press like and subscribe. It helps this channel grow. Without further ado, let's go on with our video. So, video gaming and budget choices. That has been a topic of discussion ever since we were kids. I mean, think about it. You would talk with your friends at school after Christmas vacations or whatever, and you would ask them, basically, did you get a PlayStation on Christmas? I mean, and then your friends would tell you, and I'll hit you right in the feels right now. No, I didn't get a PlayStation, but I did get a PP1. You know what a PP1 is? You know what the Polystation is? It's basically the same thing. It's NES on a chip, Famiclone, cheap-ass bullshit that were fed, spoon-fed back in the mid to late 90s. And we didn't ever complain. I don't remember ever since I was a kid, any of us, either was like me or any of my friends, actually complaining about this. Maybe internally we were, because, you know, you're a kid. You're expecting to get that cool-looking PlayStation, and then they give you something that looks like a Super Nintendo and is not even that. It's the kind of thing that would probably drive a kid crazy nowadays. And yeah, it was a budget choice. It was our budget choice. It was our, well, technically it was our parents' budget choice, but it was our budget video gaming, because you would only have to pay a fraction of the amount of money you would need for an actual PlayStation or an actual Super Nintendo, and you would still be able to play games. And to be fair, if you knew exactly what to look at, you would actually get some classics. I vividly remember as a kid being able to play a ROM-hacked version of Rockman, of all things, on a Famiclone cartridge. Here in Europe, and that was a big thing, on Famiclones, we were actually able to play the real Contra, because here in Europe it was Probotector. It was actually censored. All the characters were changed into robots, if you didn't know that. Not that it really changed the game, it didn't do much on that aspect, but we would never know that there were actually Rambo-like people that were, you know, the main characters in the game. So yeah, budget choices in video gaming. I've encountered quite a few myself, and just for the kick, just for the hell of it, I picked more than a couple in the past, and I've had some fun with them. And there's all sorts of things. You know, there are actual consoles that need a cartridge or an external source of media to play the video games, such as a Mega Drive clone. Yeah, that's a real thing. That cost me like $30 more or less, and it is an actual Mega Drive clone. The emulation on here is questionable at best, but it does have some built-in games, and it's fully compatible with all your Mega Drive and Genesis library games. So that amounts for something that's actually super cool. I don't know, maybe at some point you'd like to see that. And of course, you have the PP1. How can you go wrong with a PP1, man? And of course you have stuff like that then. Legends Flashback. There's like a bunch of companies being involved with this one, like Bandai, ColecoVision, Data East, Disney, Jaleco, Lucasfilms, Taito, and it actually has Tetris in there. And it's a ready plug and play in the box with two controllers, ready to hook up on your regular TV, like an HDMI TV, which is something that I'm not such a big fan of. You know, usually when it's something like that, maybe throw a composite there. And I know, like, we've complained so many times before about these types of emulation boxes having the composite, because, you know, it's cheap and it feels this and that, but an analog signal on these ones works a lot better. And I'm not talking about the image though, on new LCD screens or LED screens. I'm talking about something totally different. But anyways, here we have the Legend Flashbacks. This is from AtGames. I'll throw this right away. I'm not a big fan of ad games because the quality of the product is at least questionable. I feel like this could potentially explode in my face, especially the way I'm trying to hook it up, because I'm gonna be hooking it up with using an HDMI to AV converter adapter on my CRT TV, because I'm that crazy. And we're gonna be taking a look at this. When we're talking budget choice, I think this one cost me somewhere around $70, more or less. It has more than a bunch of games, some really good games in there, and we're gonna be taking a look at it. Where's the pause button? So let's open this bad boy up real quick. Yeah. I'd rather this be styrofoam, but you know, this is as hollow as my head. Sorry about that. Like I was saying, this is as hollow as my head. There's like basically nothing in there. Yeah, like the plastic, now that I'm reholding it for the second time, doesn't feel that bad. But yeah, this is definitely a reused shell from a previous project of theirs, the Ad Games Mega Drive. It looks exactly the same. The only thing missing is the cartridge slot here, and even the controllers are basically the same as the 6-button controllers of Sega. The good thing is that they give you 2 controllers. That's always a plus. And look at that. Look at that. Now, I'm not a big fan of these type of adapters. They feel really flimsy, and like I said, like they could potentially explode in your face. Well, okay, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe I've held worse than that. Does that sound like a compliment? I'm a huge fan of ad games, you can tell. Anyways, and also this thing has all its games stored in here, into that SD card. And if you're really wondering if you can add games to that, well, there's a specific firmware that you can use to format an SD card that's no more than 32 gigabytes. For more information, you can go to atariage.com, atariage.com, and you can basically add games that are compatible with these things, with the Legends Flashbacks, which mainly consists of games for the NES, SNES, and or Mega Drive games. But yeah, you can basically add more games to that if you want. Anyways, yeah, let's hook this thing up and let's see how things roll. And there we go. This is the Legends Flashback. It seems to be working just fine with my adapter. There's just a part of the screen being crunched just a little bit, just the L over there. And yeah, you have Bobble Bobble, you have Dig Dug, Fix It Felix, which is wasn't supposed to be a real game. As far as I'm concerned, I think it was part of this cartoon that came out later on. So this is like the featured games. Let's go to all games, and now it's from A to Z. You have different types of filters. We have Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja here. Burger Time. Breakthrough. There you go. Bunch of real cool games. And there's one thing I'm more certain I really want to try here, and that is Joe and Mac Returns, which is like a single screen arcade game. I want to see how that runs. Goes to no signal. Oh. Yeah, insert coin. Let's go. Second credit, okay. Which one do I press? Yeah, let's go. Okay, B. Ooh. Oh, no, we don't want that. Well, that actually looks really crisp. Oh! Yeah, it's a little bit like Tumble Pop. Oh! Uh-oh. Ah! That was fun. Okay, that plays really nice. Okay, that would never fly today. Oh my god. Second time in a row. Third.
The king has returned.
I'm not going through that again. Yeah, there we go. Ah. Do I have enough lives? Yeah, I do. Leave me alone, dragon. Oh, good lord. I got it. Ah, let's try one more time. I love dragon fire. Yeah, there we go. Oh my god. Yeah! I got through it. I stole this sucker's treasure. Ah, thou art finished. Yeah? Fair enough. I think this one normally was called Sly Spy.
Welcome, agent.
Oh, my security clearance? Okay. Triple O. Good morning, Agent Triple O.
Great job.
Yeah, of course. Great job. That's nice. That's by Data East. Nice music. You can tell, you know, it hints. It's James Bond all over it. I don't know how to... Oh, I can back up, but I can't move forward. That's wild. And then we have Aladdin. Excellent animation. I do have a copy on this one, and it's, I mean, on my actual Mega Drive. Poor Camel. And now playing it on a CRT TV, there is some type of flicker that might be not visible while recording. It's like a it's not exactly flashing, but it's kind of annoying. And yeah, normally I was not supposed to play this on a CRT TV, so that's my fault. Ooh. And let's close this video with something classic, which is Galaga 88. I picked this one because I actually own it right behind me on that cabinet, and I know exactly how it plays, and I played it very recently, so it would be a really clever move on my part to just play it so that I could tell you what I think about the emulation, because I have some things to say, more or less, for this little system. So let's see how this one plays. Very simple, a true classic. This one is quite challenging too. I haven't progressed that much at all, no matter how much I played it. And so far I'm doing pretty good. Let's see. Nice. And yet we keep going. Galactic Dancing. Wow. Needless to say, I've never done this before. So that's a very good sign. Being able to play it on an actual, not actual arcade cabinet. Now I'm starting to question how good is my arcade cabinet. But I thought it was pretty responsive. Alright. Things looking pretty good. Alright. This could potentially be the furthest, not potentially, it is, the furthest I've gone through the game. The furthest I progressed. And now I was looking on my phone because I got a message. That's easily a high score. And I got an extra life now. This is getting ridiculous at this point. I'm pretty sure it's the same game. I'm pretty sure the games are being just as aggressive as before. Alright. I'm not gonna lie. Of course, you're not playing these games just to play Galaga, but you know, if you're for the classics, if you're a fan, that's something. Okay, I'll take that. It was my fault. Whoa. Got it. Nice. New Galactic Dancing. What? Are you serious? Am I seeing this? Am I listening to this? Wait, give me some points. This is crazy. This is absolutely nuts. I didn't even know what... Oh, what's that supposed to do? Okay, this is officially... It's Dimension 2. I'm pretty sure I've never gone that far. And I lost. Too bad, because I wanted to see more of it. That's definitely my highest score. Look at that. Easily, hands down. I'll show you at some point how far I have progressed. Like, 75,000? No way. No way. Anyways, guys, that's the Legends Flashback, and I'll give you my final thoughts. So, final thoughts on the At Games Legends Flashback. Well, there are positives and there are negatives. And let's start with the positives. The positives are obviously that it's a budget choice, even though on the higher end budget choice, because you can find it anywhere between $60 to even close to $90, which I think it's a little bit ridiculous for something like that. But yeah, if you find it somewhere around $70, yeah, I consider that's an okay price. Not the best, but okay. So it's a budget choice. Obviously, the price is got to be on the positives. It has a really nice selection of games, very recognizable ones, some really great arcade bangers, and even the Mega Drive games that are in there, very well-known games, Aladdin and
Lion King, um, being able to play ColecoVision games on here, especially Dragonfire. It also has Jungle Hunt. Was more than a treat for me. I absolutely love these games. Um, and the emulation on games like Galaga was very, very spot on as far as I go, because I was able to smash, absolutely destroy my record, which on there, like my record on this arcade cab, on one try while recording. That was my original try, and that goes to show that, there's some really good positives with emulation on some of the games. Again, some of the arcade ones are my absolute favorites, like Caveman Ninja, especially the sequel, Dragon Ninja versus Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja. Some really cool, not the best out there, but very iconic games like that. And Sly Spy is pretty good. Yeah, and you can also add more games to this one. You can flash a 32 gigabyte flash card, SD card. You can go for more information, like I said before during the video, on atari8s.com. You can find a very specific firmware and flash your SD card, put some games in there. It can handle NES, SNES, and Mega Drive Master System games, as far as I'm aware. And also the inclusion of Fix It Felix, which is like an imaginary game straight from a movie, Wreck-It Ralph, made into a real video game for this one, that replicates and mimics the old school arcade style of video games from back in the day. That was absolutely amazing, very playable and super fun. I didn't do a playthrough of this one. If you really want to see it, I'll gladly do that again. And so, yeah, budget choice, a really cool selection of games. You can add more games to that, and some of the games work exceptionally well, like I said before, like Galaga. Um, of course, there are also negatives. Like the biggest, most glaring problem with me, and I was really disappointed with that, is that it doesn't really handle Sega Mega Drive emulation all that well. The reason why I'm saying this is I hope especially with Lion King, it was very visible and understandable that during the Mega Drive, the actual Mega Drive gameplay, I did a lot better, like effortlessly. And I know by at that point, because I recorded the actual Mega Drive footage, I recorded it right after I'm done with the whole recording on this thing. So probably most of my rust had come out of my hands already, but that doesn't exclude the fact that I went through oh my God, the ostrich part, like in a blink of an eye, first try, while I wasn't even able to jump from the heads on top of the heads of the giraffes. It just struck me as really, really weird. The Aladdin The things with Aladdin are even worse, in my opinion, because there's some flashes when the swords clash with your enemies, and that can practically borderline give you a headache. Borderline gave me a headache. So if you're more sensitive with motion sickness and flashing images or stuff like that, don't try to hook up this thing on your CRT TV to play Aladdin. It was almost a shock to me how much smoother it was, this game, Aladdin, on original hardware, on the actual Sega Mega Drive, because that almost strobing-like effect that I got the whole time while I was playing Aladdin on here, it was absent on the real Mega Drive. Even the clashes of the swords produced a much more mild flash that would never give you a headache, not in 1,000 years. Just the whole thing, the whole game right here, Aladdin on this one, was at least, the emulation was at least subtly. So that's the biggest, most glaring issue, that the emulation is a mixed bag, and there's some cases, especially the Mega Drive games, that don't handle that well. Also, the arcade games, some of them seem to be too much for the system. My top favorite, like I said before, John Mack Returns, has some cracking of the music, and at some points, some unnatural slowdown. It's not too much. It doesn't break your experience too much, but it is there. It's noticeable. So yeah, the most glaring issue is that the emulation is kind of dodgy from game to game, depending on which game you're playing. And then the second, and for me, like, it matters if you're going to pay something like $70 or $80 in this case. The hardware quality is not there, simply not there. I'm not going to say it's the worst thing I ever handled, but yeah, you can tell. Like, if you touch it, you open it up, you fidget around with it a little bit, you can tell that, you know, this thing could have cost a bit less, to say the least. So I'll give this a B. If you find it at the store and, you know, it costs somewhere in between $60 to $70, it's okay. It's okay to buy. It has a bunch of good games, obviously. The emulation might not be the best, but, you know, it's not the end of the world either. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I won't say it's like super good. I think it has its highs and lows, and yeah, it's an okay budget choice. That's the video for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Again, consider the idea of liking and subscribing. It helps this channel grow. As for me, I'll see you next time. I'm open to your suggestions. Keep it retro and have a good one. Bye.